Warning. Graphic content ahead. This is your first and last warning.
So just like horror movies, horror video games are a beloved genre of media, and if anything can terrify its consumers more, as the developers put you in the shoes of horror flicks protagonists and make you figure out how to survive, or hell, puts you in the shoes of a monster as you rip apart your friends. Some tell unforgettable stories with unbelievable Oscar-worthy performances, while others stick you in a dark room and have 2D images flash at you for that classic jump scare effect, you know? Everything from big budget studios to one-man teams are capable of putting out games that can scare the living hell out of you. And for my top 5 all-time horror games list, it comes down to how much a game either scared me or how much fun I had while playing it. Because at the end of the day, that's how a horror game should be measured in my eyes.
Number 5. Dead Rising.
I'm a wartime photojournalist. I've seen it all. Horror, famine, death. The real stuff of nightmares. At least, that's what I thought. That was until I saw a corpse get up, walk, and kill.
Dead Rising is an incredibly fun series, but its first game really kicked things off with a bang. Greatly influenced by Romero's and Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, players play as Frank West, a journalist that gets stuck in a shopping mall filled with a horde of zombies. Looking to break the story on the contagion, you must run around the mall taking on the undead and saving those you come across. This 2006 zombie horror survival sandbox was one that you could let yourself get lost in for hours and fucking hours, as the open world gameplay was so much fun. Allowing you to use nearly anything as a weapon each time you got into the game was a new and exciting experience, in which you never knew what hijinks you would get into next.
Number 4. PT.
Watch out. The gap in the door. It's a separate reality.
Has a trailer for a movie ever terrified you more than the movie itself? PT was Kojima's attempt at making a thrilling way to tease what would have been his next upcoming game for Silent Hill. What it became was a legend on its own, as Konami split ways with Kojima and ultimately scrapped the project. This short demo psychologically terrifies its players as the main character awakens in a hallway inside a home and then taken for a loop as the player attempts to figure out the mystery of what's going on. During your passes through the hallways, you uncover a ghost named Lisa that cannot be stopped and will kill you. This demo was far from anything gamers had seen before. Usually you get a few enemies, you shoot them up, and then boom, trailer. No, Kojima gave you something on par with an indie horror game, and it effectively terrified you as you went in circles over and over again, getting into the player's head and then attacking them with an enemy they can't fight and they can't escape from. Those brave enough to reach the end were left with a teaser for a game that would never come, and ultimately the project we got with Death Stranding definitely wasn't what anyone expected, but the demo lives on in pure infamy as one of the scariest experiences you could have for a game you'll never play.
Number 3. Dead Space.
Step 1. Crawl inside. Step 2. The screws so tight. All around. Cross my heart and hope to die. Stick a needle in your eye.
Inspired by films like Event Horizon and Solaris, and also taking cues from games like Resident Evil 4, the Redwood Shores team would attempt to develop the most horrifying game experience they could imagine. What resulted was Dead Space. This survival horror game puts you in the shoes of a space miner named Isaac, in a ship full of mutated monsters called necromorphs, created by an ancient evil artifact called the Marker. This game is a visceral, gory experience with well-placed scares that keep you on the edge of your gaming chair at all times. Designed to freak you the fuck out at all times, this game picks at the psyche of Isaac and the player as you don't know what to trust or what the right thing to do is. Dead Space took the right cues from horror flicks, spacing its scares in unpredictable manners, and focused on creating atmosphere with superior sound design and great use of score. The limb targeting as well, at the time, was some of the most brutal, gruesome shit we've ever seen. That really gave you that I'm playing a horror movie feel as you took turns with friends just trying to survive.
Number 2. Silent Hill 2.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face, your voice, just your hair and clothes are different.
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I?
Silent Hill was a franchise meant to compete with the ever-popular Resident Evil. And while its name is nearly as synonymous amongst horror game fans, Silent Hill, in my opinion, is a much scarier experience. Silent Hill 2 has you play as James Sunderland, who embarks on a journey to find his dead wife after receiving a letter from her. What ensues is one of the most eerily and depressingly dark tales in video game history. Silent Hill fits right in with the J-horror genre of cinema, as it uses long, drawn-out, tension-filled scares rather than consistently jumping out at you. The developers, Team Silent, masterfully created disturbing images and created well-thought-out stories that left you, the player, feeling nothing but dread. It's a game that took me, personally, years to get into because it wasn't actiony and fun right off the bat. It's a completely mature and dark piece about loss, using psychological scares. This game is artwork, and I definitely recommend it for anyone looking for a more serious horror experience.
And now the number 1 horror video game. Resident Evil 4.
So nice you could join us, Mr. Scott Kennedy.
You again.
The sacred rite that's about to begin at this tower shall endow the girl with magnificent power. She will join us, become one of us.
This is no ritual. It's terrorism.
Isn't that a popular word these days? Not to worry. We've prepared a special ritual for you.
For starters, putting Resident Evil after Silent Hill wasn't an easy choice. What it came down to was how much fun I had while playing it, and Resident Evil 4 takes the cake when it comes to the entire franchise. And that includes the excellent remake so far as well. This third-person shooter takes protagonist Leon Kennedy out of Raccoon City and plops him in the midst of this crazy cultist village as the player is tasked with saving the president's daughter. Gone were the locked camera angles, and in came that sweet third-person camera, freeing you up from that, that semi-linear feel of the past Resident Evil games. In came a new locked shooting mechanism that created a whole new sense of tension for the franchise as you were forced to make precise shots or become overwhelmed by enemies. Your hand is not held whatsoever as you run into horde after horde of crazy people with chainsaws. The game was a real challenge and at times frustrating as hell, but with fun game mechanics and a fun story, Resident Evil 4 balances horror and action unlike any of the other titles in the franchise. And yes, while it may not be the scariest game on this list, it surpasses the rest with the most memorable and fun gameplay that kicked off what would become the franchise's gold standard. Resident Evil 4 still holds up even after 15 years, but there is surely a new remake on the way. And that does it for my list. Make sure that you check out The Amazing Nerd Show on YouTube and Twitch. That's The Amazing Nerd Show on Twitch. Check it out. The link is definitely in the description. This weekend, I'm going to continue on with more The Witcher 3, and then I believe I keep wanting to say Ghost of Tsushima, but I'm going to play more Outer Worlds and stuff like that. Star Wars. You know all the games on my schedule right now. So definitely tune in this weekend. Let's move on.
Hey, this is Christian.
Hey, this is Damon.
And this is The Amazing Nerd Show.
New episodes and live streams weekly.